Welcome to Dan Kramer's 4F's Faith, Family, Business, Finance podcast. No matter what you're needing, Dan Kramer is going to help you grasp important concepts about business, life, family, fitness, and most of all, faith. Because as an entrepreneur, you need all four areas of life in order to succeed, in order to be more successful, and have exactly what you want. Subscribe to the podcast today, check out our YouTube channel, and let's get the show started with Dan Kramer and the 4F's Faith, Family, Fitness, and Finance.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is the 4F Forum where we talk about faith, family, fitness, and finances. And today we have a finance expert. I'll let him introduce himself a little more here, but we're going to talk a little bit about how he got to where he's at. Roger works as a specialist in tax planning. So if that, for people like me, my ears perk up when I hear that. For some of you, you might just turn the channel now, but we're going to kind of talk a little bit about tax planning, but a lot more about Roger and how he got to where he's at. And stick around and let us know if you have any questions. So Roger, let's jump into it. Tell us who you are, how you got to where you're at out in Utah, right? And we'll just kind of see where this goes.
Sorry, I don't normally do this on a podcast, but just because I can, I'm going to. So this is the view out my window. I like to do that just for fun. I'm in Logan, Utah. I wife and 5 kids, been in the risk management and financial services industry for quite a while now, and found my passion. And really, it's about helping my clients. I grew up in a little town called Paradise, Utah, about 1,000 people, and we're like this when it comes to spending money. And so my passion is really helping the taxpayer keep more of their money. And it's kind of, we'll talk a little bit more about, how we do that. But I've been fortunate to understand a lot of things. I fell in love with one concept that I think we all should keep in mind. I think, I grew up in an awesome location, Logan, Utah. Love our country. I think it's the greatest place on earth. I fly a flag out front of my house, drive an F-150. I'm as American as it can be. Yep. And I think as citizens of this country, we should all pay as much in taxes as we're obligated to, and not a penny more. And so my career has been spent over the last 10 years as I got introduced to tax planning and what the value it can provide is really helping explore the various ways in which we can help business owners and taxpayers keep more of their money. So.
I love it. So let's, 10 years in the tax planning side, how you said a longer career in finances. So walk us through kind of when you got into the industry and how did it start for you?
So I got into the industry in 2008. 2009, I was not in the financial services industry. I was doing a different business that was hit hard in the Great Recession or whatever you want to call it these days, and was introduced to health insurance. As glamorous as it comes. So I'm actually a health insurance broker by trade, right? As I got into the insurance world, learned about life insurance, got into the risk management, got into group health insurance, group benefits. And when I got into the group benefits world, I just love to save money and find the best plans, options, and so forth available to help my clients keep as much money as possible. And in 2012 or so, I saved a company about $300,000 in health insurance premiums, and the controller came to me with a problem. Yeah. He said, "Hey, dude, you saved us too much money in taxes, or you saved us too much money in premium. Now we have to pay taxes on all this money you saved us." You're welcome. I don't know what to tell you, right? So he said, "Is there anything we should be doing with this money to not have to pay taxes on it?" That's when I got introduced to tax mitigation, went to my partners and said, "Hey, how do we do this? How do we help them keep the money they're saving?" And that was my introduction to one of the tax codes, 831B, private reinsurance. That just got me into the world of, hey, I'm loving this. Let's save money in taxes. And then I've expanded my offerings from there. So
I love it. Yeah. And not to get too, like we said, deep into the weeds on the actual strategies, but I mean, do you specialize more in, like, I've heard someone say, let's say you make a bunch of money and you're going to claim you have all this income. There's like the wealthiest people of the world, they don't like claim the income and then figure out how to offset it, because that trips like a red flag with the IRS. I mean, speak to that a little bit. Do the wealthiest like figure out ways to reduce the tax liability before you file, type of thing, or does that make sense?
So there's, a mutual acquaintance of ours who won't be named in this podcast once said to me, there's ways to mitigate your taxes, defer your taxes, or evade your taxes. Okay. The first two, your deduction might be not upheld. The third one, there's a place for those, and it's called jail. And there's way too pretty to go to jail, Dan. So we don't go into the tax evasion world. So ultimately, not claiming income is one of the biggest reasons why you would go to jail. So you have to show your income. It's what do you do with the income to lower the taxable liability on that income and reduce through tax deductions and tax incentives, because that's all tax codes are, right? Congress sees a problem. They want to incentivize a fix to the problem. Mm-hmm. What's the most common tax code that everybody on this podcast knows? Starts with a 4, ends with a K.
401k, right? Yeah.
401k. Well, what is 401k? That's actually a tax code that says, Mr. Taxpayer, you'll put money aside for retirement. Will allow you to deduct that amount of money from your taxable income. Yeah. The incentive was the tax deduction. The benefit is money saved for retirement. Not that I'm promoting 401ks, but that's just how the code was intended, right? 831B is an incentive for business owners to set money aside to protect risk. So that's really all a tax code is, or these incentives. It's Congress is incentivizing us to do certain things, which lowers our taxable income, but we still have to show all of our income and then find out ways or incentives to lower that taxable income. But we've got to show the income, or else you're hiding money, and that's the Bernie Madoff type stuff that you don't want to be involved with. So does that answer your question? Is that fair?
Yeah. I think I ask it a little wrong, but basically show just break down how do the wealthy not pay taxes? I know it's a very broad question, but like we hear it all the time, right? The wealthiest people of the world.
Why is Mitt Romney, Donald Trump, why are these guys only paying $700 a year in taxes when they're multi-millionaires, right? Well, it's not because they are tax evaders. Right. It's because you have a whole team of tax planners and CPAs on their team to help them utilize or implement the strategies that are available. So my passion is really bringing these big business deductions or big tax planning ideas down to the smaller mid-sized market, because it's super underserved, right? Most people, especially those of you on this call that are making a lot of money now, didn't start making a lot of money until their business grew. Well, when you first start your business, your CPA might be your best friend's grandma, right? So you have she's doing your tax return for you or whatever. Well, as you grow, you may outgrow your tax preparer, right? So there's a big difference between a tax preparer and a tax planner, right? I don't prepare taxes, right? I work with your CPA. I give your CPA the information, but the CPA is going to prepare the taxes. I create a tax plan on the front end, and it's ultimately understanding where the income comes from. And maybe that's part of your question is, what am I talking about as far as what are the different types of taxable income, right? Yeah. You have business income that comes to you either via a K-1 or a 1099, right? That's business income, and it's taxed at ordinary income rates, 35 to 40%. You might be a W-2 employee. You work for somebody else, you get a W-2, and whatever your W-2 is essentially establishes your AGI. That's another ordinary income type of, so those are the three buckets of ordinary income, K-1, 1099, or W-2. Or you may experience a large gain, and maybe this is where you were meant to head, was, I created a business and I sold it. Yeah. Well, then that's called a long-term capital gain, which is taxed at a long-term capital gain rate. So depending on where the income comes from, that's one of the main questions we're going to ask a client, right? Is, okay, tell us about your life. Where does your income come from, and what's causing your tax problem? And based on that information, we'll create a tax plan to help you implement the strategies that make sense for that type of income.
I think all of this is exciting and kind of like buzzwords for everybody, but not a lot of people probably, I think you hit it on the head, that they might go to their accountant who they probably outgrown and say, hey, we got a tax problem. So how do you come alongside, and when should they start thinking about meeting with you? Right. Because obviously I refer people to you and I've gotten to know you, but sure. Well, what's your ideal client, and when should they introduce themselves to someone like you?
It's kind of funny because, tax problems are relative, right? Someone might think that they're paying $10,000 a year in taxes, and that's a tax problem. Where my ideal client is someone paying $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's when I get involved and create an actual tax plan, right? If you're paying less than $50,000, let's do a few little things. There's just not a lot of options. You don't have a major tax problem yet,
yeah.
Right? There are a few things you can do, but really where I start to shine is me asking the question, how's your business doing? Are you getting killed in taxes?
Yeah.
My follow-up question will be, are you paying more than $50,000 or less than $50,000? If you're paying more than $50,000, then we should do an exploratory session, sit down. You'll tell me about where your income's coming from, provide that information to me, and then I will help you create a tax plan to implement strategies. I just call them strategies. They're just various things that we can do that we implement to help you keep more of your money by getting deductions, right? Most of the time, a CPA there's a list of 10 most common deductions: paying your kids, having a home office, buying more equipment, the Augusta rule. There's a whole bunch of things for smaller incomes that we can help you take a look at. It's not my expertise. Well, the CPA knows what those are. My expertise is the bigger numbers. These are the things that the Fortune 500 guys are doing that we're just bringing down to the small to mid-sized market.
Okay, cool. Well, what kind of makes you tick? Aside from the business and making money and helping your clients save money, what maybe more in a personal and your family life, like what are you shooting for? When do you feel like you're gonna?
When there's a bunch of snow up there, that's when I get excited. So
like skiing?
Snowmobiling and skiing is my passion. Snowmobiling is really my passion. So if anyone's on the podcast that wants to go snowmobiling, you let me know. So no, I love to have fun. Work hard, but play harder has always been my mantra. I'm to the point in my career now where I love providing value and helping others accomplish their goals, right? I feel like I've accomplished my goals now. I have an awesome career, doing well in life. So far, I'm fairly healthy, except for my hip. Gotta get that replaced sometime soon. But other than that, we're good. I have a wife, 5 kids, just living life to the fullest. And I'm very blessed to be in the position I'm in. And if I can help someone else get closer to that position that they're trying to accomplish, that's my goal. So I just think that there's ways, and knowledge is power. And I love educating people on how to take advantage or maximize. It's not really taking advantage of anything. It's just utilizing the tools that are there. And that's the difference. It is really, they're there for our taking. So the question I often ask is, who's responsible for how much money you pay in taxes?
Yeah.
Is it your CPA? Is it your financial advisor? Is it your tax planner? No, it's you, right? So it's on you to figure out if I'm full of crap and the stuff that I'm presenting is actually worthwhile or not, or whether you're just going to pay the tax. And there's one group that wants you to pay as much in taxes as possible. that starts with an I and ends with an S with an R in the middle, right? So the IRS, their sole job, that's their job, is to collect revenue, right? And when you look at the different tax solutions we're going to offer, you'll probably Google them. Now, most people understand the terminology SEO.
Yep.
Search engine optimization. So when you Google anything, the first thing that pops up is those who have put the most money into SEO, right?
Yeah.
If Dan wants to build his podcast, he's going to try to put as much work into SEO to get it to come up first. Well, which group in the country has spent the most money on search engine optimization?
For taxes or just in general?
General. Starts with an I and ends with an S.
Really? Okay.
So the things that you're looking at are what the IRS would like you to see. So what do you think you're going to find when it comes to anything to do with tax mitigation?
Not the top strategies that you're teaching.
They're going to be talking about all the negative stuff. They're going to be saying, oh, this is a bad strategy. This is potentially abusive. This is this court case going on. They're going to try to discourage taxpayers from trying to mitigate their tax liability. And when a CPA hears about a new strategy, what's the first place the CPA is going to go? Google.
Yep.
And what's the first thing they're going to find? All the negative.
Yeah.
So that's the constant battle that I face is, yes, these strategies can be abused.
Yeah.
Does it mean they're abusive? No, it just means that it can be abused and you have to do it and do it right. Again, that's my job as the tax planner. I'm never going to offer anything. I like to sleep well at night knowing that the things that I offer are appropriate. So
I love it.
I don't know if that's your question or not, but that's just me in a nutshell. So
no, I like it. So we'll wrap up here, so my podcast, I know I'm just dropping this on you now, but it's I built it, Faith, Family, Fitness, Finance. I think, Trent Fortner, that's where I think I first heard those 4 F's and it kind of stuck with me. And working in the finance industry, you see a lot of people sacrifice what's really important, their faith, family, and fitness for financial gain. So I'm like, hey, kind of did this to keep me in check. But when you hear that and working in this industry and dealing with big numbers, what kind of sticks out to you? And maybe this is a chance to learn a little bit about you, but what have you seen maybe is good stewardship of money to actually build a proper life, or what sticks out to you when you kind of hear that with priorities?
The 4 F's are amazing. I probably saw it in that same meeting that you were at, that Trent kind of showed that to us, and ultimately faith. I live in Utah. If anybody knows anything about Utah, there's a big religion that's prominent here, and yes, I am one of those. So, yep. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I have a ton of faith. Love our Savior. Okay, so love, faith, family. That can be the difficult piece. I love what I do, guys. It's the most enjoyable thing to just meet with business owners and successful people to help them keep more of their money. It's not work for me anymore. So I have to be very careful to compartmentalize my work and my family, because I could work all the time and I love what I do. So it's easy, right?
Yeah.
Compartmentalizing that is very crucial to keeping the fun in life, because if your family's not happy, your wife's not happy, or whatever, things aren't as fun as they could be, right? So I have to check myself, to be honest, because my wife understands that my busy season is October through December, because that's when everyone needs to plan their taxes. I don't know if we hit that or not, but tax planning happens in October through November, December, not March, April, and May. Okay. That's right. A CPA world. My world is October, November, December. So family is, it's everything. If you lose that, nothing else is worth it. So super crucial. Fitness. I mean, we all are sitting here watching a screen, and hopefully some of you are on the treadmill watching this podcast, but I get stuck sitting here a lot of times, right? And if you don't have your fitness, what good does it do you to make a bunch of money that you can't ever spend because you can't go enjoy it because you're just stuck in a retirement home because you didn't take care of your body. So I go with health, wealth, and time.
Yeah.
If you have those 3, that's when you should really enjoy life, right? And your health is a crucial piece of that. If you're not taking care of your body, you're gonna not enjoy as much as you could everything you're working to build. I have a dear cousin making a ton of money and just isn't healthy, but we're drinking our Dr. Peppers and our Mountain Dews and we're eating our candy bars just to stay afloat during the day, and I'm drinking my protein shake, trying to stay healthy. Right. So that's, fitness it's crucial. You gotta take time. And my wife was just on me today. It's like, are you going to come ride the bike today? And I'm like, I got to get to work. So, it's important. So, and then finance, there's a structure to it, and you've got certain areas. You've got people who want your money.
Yeah.
Right. And there's institutions that want your money. And understanding the game, the rules of the game, is the most important piece of finance. Understanding the rules of the game. And that's what Dan can teach you is, look, there's a rule and there's a game. And if you don't understand those rules, you're going to fall right in the same trap that they've been trying to teach us for years. The institutions want your money and they hang on to it as long as they possibly can. And understanding that is giving you a leg up on everyone else, that there are different areas where your money should be put, and not putting all of it into one basket is crucial. And understanding, saving. So,
and any game isn't super fun to play if you don't know the rules, right? So goes to show why a lot of people struggle and then eventually despise money talk, right? So, treat it like a game and a game you want to win and learn the rules. So it's
well, if you're a player in the game, get a coach. You know, that's the key, right? Is having a good leader to lead you through to lead the game. And if you're not a leader in the game, find one. It's a coach. You got to have someone teaching you the rules, because you're not just going to hop into the game and be able to know the rules. And if you have a coach, they can lead you along the way, and finding the right one is crucial. So.
I love it. Well, cool. We can wrap up here. How can people best learn more about you? Obviously, if they come through me and I see a need, as I get to know you, I will definitely, be happy to bring you into the picture. But let's say they just want to learn and continue to learn. Do you put out content? Is there a way they can learn more about you, or tell them a little bit about the best way to follow you?
So we are working on Tax Planning Leadership Institute, which is where you can go and hop on, find it, just learn a little bit the ins and outs of taxes, how they work, what type of income there is, different types of taxation there are, those sort of things. So we're building out the Tax Planning Institute, Tax Plan Leadership Institute. That's still in the works, probably be first quarter before we actually have it to market. Okay. Right now, if someone has, wants to learn more about what we do, I'd say they reach out to Dan. Dan can kind of help be the intermediary between helping them understand, okay, you do have a tax problem and we can fix it. So my firm is Strategic Associates. If you ever want to just go there and find out a little bit more. I'm not a great, I'm not going to lie, my website's not the greatest in the world. So, but there's our information there if you want to reach out and just have a discussion. And it's really, education's key. And I like to teach in person. So, but we'll have that information out soon.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. And if you guys have any questions or know of somebody that this would be beneficial for, feel free to share this out to them or share our contact, and we'd be happy to see. I mean, it doesn't cost to have a conversation. We're not going to push anything that's not good for you. And a lot of times we don't charge for our time. It's just, if the strategy fits, you're going to want to do it because it's going to save you save you money. So Anyway, appreciate you coming on today, and we'll looking forward to next time.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks. Appreciate it, Dan. And one last little nugget: spending money to save money in taxes is not tax planning. Saving money to save money in taxes, that's tax planning. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. If anyone wants to find out more, just reach out. We'll take care of you.
Awesome. Thanks.